Life is a series of circles and cycles, phrases and stages. These experiences teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to It's Your Life with James Cooley. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the Jc Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley. And wow, I tell you, this is a special show because I get an opportunity for friends to ask me questions about me and for the audience to get an opportunity to know who I am and how my show came about and some of the things that we are out doing in society. And most importantly, my thought process on love. I believe we need more love in this world today, and that's what we're going to talk about. So I got a lot of great guests in here. I got two co-guests that's going to help me journey through this show today. And the first one is Joshua Goldsmith, who is also the sponsor of It's Your Life.
How you doing,
Josh? And Michelle Cooley, who's my backbone, my rock, and that keeps me grounded and keeps me focused. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing fine, James. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. We got Charles Golden, who is the executive vice president of the Jc Cooley Foundation. How you doing, Charles?
I'm doing fine. Yourself?
I'm doing just fine. And we got my mentor, Chuck Trinone, who keeps me focused, guides me with certain things, and just help keep me grounded. How you doing, Chuck?
Doing wonderful. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I tell you, one of the things that I want to open up the show with is we got Paula Shaw, a very, very good friend of mine. I've been knowing Paula for a long time in the Rancho Santa Fe Rotary Club. And also, I've been on her show a couple of times. How you doing, Paula?
I'm doing very well today, James. Good to see you here on your own show. Funny how that all came about, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you tell the audience how that came about?
Okay, I would love to. Well, I do a show here at KCBQ also called Change It Up Radio. And JC came on my show. I've known him for, oh my goodness, probably 3 or 4 years now, since he was first part of the Taste of Rancho Santa Fe, his wonderful group. And then I journeyed out to the hinterlands of Temecula to actually see his program in action with the teenage kids there at the high school, and it was phenomenal. He really rocked the room. Michelle, I have to say, walks on water. She is an angel and held the whole thing together. But the kids were happy, and I was impressed. And I said, well, I think we got to tell the world about this man and what he's doing here. And so I invited him to be on Change It Up Radio. And afterwards, after he did a wonderful job, I took him over to meet the general manager of the studio here at KCBQ, Steve Brodsky. And Steve just instantly fell in love, apparently, and right then and there offered him a show in the hallway. I'm not kidding. He hadn't known him 10 minutes. So I guess it was meant to be, and here you are.
Yeah, I tell you, that seemed like it was a long time ago. 8 months now. We've been doing
my
this.
Goodness.
8 months.
Wow, that has fun.
And I tell you, Paula, it continues to get better and better because of the message that we're bringing to our listening audience out there. Mm-hmm. It's Your Life. It's all about keeping it real. It's all about bringing influencers on and introducing them to our audience so that they can tell the audience, what keeps them going, how they got started, what are their successes, and how to go about doing certain things to become successful.
Mm-hmm. And that's so important because people, so often we don't feel inside like we're enough to do something. We may dream it, but we don't really believe we can do it. But then when you hear someone else's story and you realize, wow, they were just like me, or they had the same feelings I've had, and then you see them step into success, it's inspiring and it's motivating, and it just gives you a true belief that, wow, if they can do it, I can do it too, and anything is possible.
And I really want to thank you, because without you inviting me on your show, I don't think this opportunity would have ever happened.
I know it was truly, I think, meant to be, because I introduced a lot of people to Steve, and he never offered anybody a show. I was kind of stunned as I was standing there thinking, is he kidding, or is this the real deal? But it was clearly meant to happen, JC, and you've taken the ball and run with it, and that's very exciting.
Yeah, I tell you, so I got a couple of co-hosts that's going to navigate. Now, I'm going to turn the floor over to them, but stick around, Paula, because you can join in on the asking of some of the questions.
Okay.
But my co-host, Joshua Goldsmith, I tell you, I love this guy to death. I mean, we've been friends for a long, long time. And I tell you, we get closer and closer every day. He's also my running buddy. Welcome to the show, Josh.
Great to be here, JC. I was so excited about this show because I've been asking you, ever since I heard about your show, how come we haven't talked about the Jc Cooley Foundation? How come we haven't talked about you, JC? You have such so many experience that have led you to this show, and it's kind of like the pinnacle of talking about, what this show is, the hope, the basic tenets of having confidence. Where did that all come from? We want to know you a little bit better, JC, and that's what's bringing us to this show. But first, I want to know the what, why, who are you? Most importantly, how.
Now we call it the what, why, when, and how.
There you go.
The what, why, when, and how. And
how are you going to be successful as one of our future leaders of tomorrow?
Well, this is what I explain to our listening audience, especially our youth, that you can do anything that you set your mind to, but you got to know what you want to do. I mean, at least have an idea of this is what I want to do, but I might not know how to get there at this particular time, but to have an idea that, I can do this, and I call that vision. Vision is being able to see things, maybe not with the naked eye, but see things far out, even if there was a wall there. Being able to have a vision where on the other side of that wall, whatever your goal might be, that if you work hard enough, or you surround yourself, or you educate yourself, or get with the right people, that can help you shape whatever idea, whatever job, whatever you want to do in life. But you have to know what that is.
Now, applying that to your foundation, the Jc Cooley Foundation, how does that relate? How does, because I met you, when I met you, JC, you invited me. One of the first things was to your breakfast. You had these community breakfasts for the kids, and it was for the Jc Cooley Foundation. Can you talk a little bit about the Jc Cooley Foundation, why you established it, and a little bit more about the philosophies?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, I started the Jc Cooley Foundation. Actually, it's called Options, Opportunities / the Choice Program. I started that because I believe that I was given an opportunity through hard work and through perseverance when I was a young kid. I was told that I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. And I don't know if you know the story about me, but I came from a family of 10 by a mother who had 6 different fathers of her kids, and she was never married. And she was not able to take care of all of us. And so she chose to send myself and my older brother, Jerry, to Alabama to live with my aunt and uncle. Now, in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we was at, we did not have running water. We did not have electricity. Well, that's in Alabama. We did not have running water in the house. We had a well. We didn't have electricity. We had a wooden burn stove. and our food, we had to go outside and catch it. So coming from Chattanooga, Tennessee, where you had all of these things, even though, we grew up in the project, you have to learn how to survive, and you have to learn discipline, and you have to be able to understand that you have to do your chores. You have to do all the things that's going to require for the family to survive. And so I grew up in tough times, but also grew up learning how to maintain a solid work ethic and how to get things done. I mean, how to provide, even as a young kid, help provide for the family. And basically, getting back to your question about the Jc Cooley Foundation, I believe that everybody needs that type of opportunity. Everybody's not born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Everybody don't understand that you have to work hard to get things that you need. You have to work hard to be successful. So the Jc Cooley Foundation is primarily trying to teach our youth today to become our future leaders tomorrow, and to be successful and stay focused.
And that's such a powerful message that you're bringing for our youth. We need more leaders like you, JC, I must say, because who do they look up to today? Who do our children look up to? Okay, I have a daughter, right? She's going to MIT, right? I brought her to the Jc Cooley Foundation. You saw a light in her eyes, JC, and you actually you gave her a scholarship.
Yes, I did.
And that's a very meaningful gesture. But we attended those lunches. Obviously, because of the current situation that it's being tough, those have been put on hold. But I'm very glad that there is some visibility for the Jc Cooley Foundation, and I think it's an important venture. Now we have someone else on the show now as well, Michelle.
Yeah, but let's get back just a little bit. We want to be able to give deserving kids, youth, young adults, and everybody scholarships. Want to be able to turn them into leaders. And I tell you, we're going to have to take a station break right now. But, Josh, we're going to come back, and we're going to continue our discussion with you and bring Michelle Cooley, Charles Golden, Chuck Trinone, Paula Shaw back on the show. It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley.
It's time to dream big, think big, and be big. It's time for more It's Your Life. Here's your host, James Cooley.
Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley. Wow, I tell you, I was just having a conversation with Joshua Goldsmith, and, we was talking about my foundation, and we're going to bring on Michelle Cooley, and she is going to ask a few questions and kind of enlighten us. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing fine, James. And of course, this is all about who James Jc Cooley is. But one of the things I want to start with is It's Your Life. How did you come up with that title of It's Your Life radio show? Can you explain that?
Yeah, actually, the program was supposed to be called It's Your Choice. But one of the producers here, Cameron, when he was putting the program together, he came up with he wrote down It's Your Life opposed to It's Your Choice. And by him doing it, I listened to it. I said, wow, that's what it's supposed to be, because it's about life. And life is all about making choices. So we decided to go with It's Your Life. And that's how we came up with that.
Oh, okay. Well, what is the vision you have and the mission for this particular radio show?
Well, the show is just like I mentioned earlier. It's to bring influencers on the show to share their ideas, to share their thoughts, and to help enlighten others that might be looking for their way. And what I mean by their way, there's uncertainties that they might have. And so we try to bring all walks of life on the show to explain how they became successful and some of the things that they're doing that might be able to help enlighten others. So my vision for this show is to just bring as many influencers, teachers, educators, all walks of life to help make life better for everybody. And most importantly, it's to spread the word of love, peace, and kindness. I mean, because the world needs a lot of love in today's world. And this is just an avenue to help share and let others know that you are important. You are important in this world, and you have meaning, and you are a masterpiece. Because I'm a believer, as you know, Michelle. I believe that God made each and every last one of us with a purpose in mind. And so, and this show is to help show that you do have purpose.
Well, I definitely can agree with that. Everyone does have gifts and they do have talent. One of the most important things is when someone in their childhood, there's always somebody, that one person who has influenced them to believe in themselves. In your book, and we'll get to that a little bit later, but in your book you do mention about a teacher who said something to you that changed your life. Can you go over that?
Absolutely. When I was coming up, and the word love was never mentioned in my house. So that was, it's not that you didn't know that you were loved, but it was never mentioned out loud. And so when I was in the 9th grade, well, getting ready to go to high school, I had the same teacher for the last 3 years that had been educating me. And I did well in her class. And most of the kids in the neighborhood that I grew up in was going to be attending this school, which was a couple of miles up the street. And she asked me, was I going to attend that same school? I said, absolutely. Everybody go to that school. She looked at me and said, James, you're not everybody. She said, I have been teaching you for the last 3 years, and you got some certain talents and gifts, and I think you need to attend the vocational school, which was like 7-8 miles across town. And I looked at her and I said, I'm not going to pass that test. I'm not smart enough to pass and get into that school. She said, I have been teaching you. I know that you can pass that test. And she said, and plus, you know, I have become very fun, and I have learned to love you over the last few years. And my jaws hit the floor because that was the first time that someone had told me that they loved me. And so I went and I took the test. I got accepted to the school, and I finished school with honors. You know, so I attended Kirkman Vocational High School. And it was because of her that gave me the confidence and the courage to be able to pursue something that I didn't think I was talented enough to do.
That's beautiful, Jc.
Wow.
That's beautiful. And I heard some buzzwords in there too. How does that relate to the 4 C's in your current philosophy for?
Okay, so the 4 C's, listener audience, the 4 C's stand for create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Again, create, collaborate, commit with confidence. And let me explain to you what that means. And my program, those are the 4 pillars of the Jc Cooley Foundation. It's built on the 4 C's. Create, just like I said, we have ideas, we have thoughts, we have dreams, we have all of these things. Even though we might not be able to do them or might not be in a position to do it at that particular time, we have these things. So the first C is creativity. The second C is sometimes you don't always have all the answers. And a lot of times we don't want to go to others because we are afraid that they're going to laugh at us, especially if we have these thoughts and they might seem unheard of. So we don't want to share those things. But I always believe the second C is called collaborate. Collaborate with others. Collaborate. Tell them your thoughts. They might have the same thoughts that you might be having. You know, so create, collaborate. And once you collaborate and then you come to a decision where you say, I can do this. I can really do this. I mean, yeah, thank you for that. I can do this. The third C is you have to be confident in what you can do. Create, collaborate. So you have to be committed first is the third one, but you have to be confident is the fourth one. Yeah. So I believe that if a person live by these 4 C's, create, collaborate, commit with confidence, that creates what I call the big C.
What's that?
The big C.
The big C.
Character. Everything is about character. So a person's life should be about character. What the things that you do is all about character.
That's amazing.
Wow, that's really great, James. Well, we have a guest who has been a great influence in your life, as you stated earlier. I want to introduce the audience to Mr. Chuck Trinone.
At least you got his name right. He's going to kill me. How you doing, Chuck?
Just call me Chuck. I'm doing great. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here with all of you and to hear about it. But, you're talking to us about your book. I'm going to see if I can get you to think back and help us. I was reading in your book. You said you told yourself in your 30s that you were going to write a book. In your 40s, you said you were thinking about it again. Now bring us to 2018, and what happens that all of a sudden in 2019 you're writing a book? What did you see, and what brought the work forward?
Well, I sometimes we procrastinate. We procrastinate.
Not you.
But I wanted to tell my story because I felt that it was important that other people know that that I might have came from, and a lot of people said nothing, but it doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you finish the game. And I felt that it might be folks out there that might have been struggling like I was, and did not see any way out, and poverty and hope. Always remember the word hope. If there is a lack of hope, we have no desire to do anything. So by me writing that book, I was hoping that someone would read it and that they would lock in on that and say, okay, if James Cooley can do this and I can do it. Look at all the things that he went through doing, trying to become successful. I mean, all the different setbacks and all the different failures and all the different things, but he kept getting up. And, and he was confident in who he was and who he was going to be. So the book is mainly called Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet. And my journey is still going. And that book is just a shot in time that says that I am going to continue to grow, continue to do these things, continue to be successful, and make other people successful. So that's what my thought was with that.
On that rate,
that's a wonderful.
James, I just wanted to ask, what are birthrights?
Birthrights. Okay. I believe that everybody have birthrights, and birthrights are confidence, courage, hope, belief, but most importantly, faith. We all have the same birthrights, regardless whether you're black, white, pink, gold, purple. We all are given the same birthrights, and we all have the potential to be successful, potential to grow up and pursue your dreams and do all of these things. And people are going to tell you that you can't do this or you can't do that, but we cannot sit back and listen to those types of things, because you can. So just remember, we all have birthright: confidence, courage, hope, belief, most importantly, faith.
And that's
great. That's a great message, James. That's really inspirational to everyone, all our listening audience. And we're going to go back to Chuck, because I think he has a couple more questions for you.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thanks. James, again, you're one of the things all of us here and your listening audience, you share with everybody what's the key. And so tell us what the key is and what that means and how we can all live by it.
The key to anything is not giving up. the key is being focused. Focus is key. If you set your mind to doing something, you have to stay focused. You have to stay focused. So that's the biggest key. But I tell you what, I'm going to have to take a station break right now. But we're going to come back and we're going to continue our discussions. It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I'm going to let them continue to grill me.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley. The Jc Cooley Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was started in October of 2014. The Jc Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. We hope that you'll be able to take part in one or more of the many exciting events that we're offering this year and experience firsthand the pride we take in supporting our cause. It's our mission to equip the youth of today for the challenges of tomorrow, and we rely heavily on the generosity of individuals and business owners for support. Without the assistance of community-minded individuals just like you, we wouldn't be able to serve our youth each year. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. This year's goal is $50,000. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The Jc Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, the true life coming of age story by James Jc Cooley. Using humor, wit, and engaging storytelling, James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural deep south town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Jc Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
It's time to dream big, think big, and be big. It's time for more It's Your Life. Here's your host, James Cooley.
Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley. Wow, I tell you, I got to always thank our sponsor, Joshua Goldsmith, for making sure that we are able to bring this great message to our listening audience. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you.
My pleasure here. JC, back to the book. There's somebody that's called in, Jordan Kobar, who helped you out here.
Oh, yeah, that's my publisher for my audio book that's we're getting ready to release.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Do you have him?
He's actually here.
On the phone?
Yeah, he's on the phone. He's on the. He might have.
How you doing, Jordan?
Hey, JC, how's it going out there?
Hey, how you doing, man? Man, this is an absolute pleasure.
I'm
Listen,
happy I was able to get on.
We got a brand new audio book coming out. I'm gonna let Jordan tell you a little bit about that. Can you tell a little bit about it, Jordan?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so JC and I connected a little while ago to really start this project, which has turned out quite amazing. It's something that we've really been spending a lot of time together going over. It's his book is very, very interesting, and when you hear his words, the way that he reads it, it's very authentic. So it actually was a phenomenal experience sitting down, being able to record this and actually hear the information directly from the horse's mouth.
How's it been working with JC?
Oh, I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure. JC, you're a great dude, and you're very competent and able to fully really immerse somebody in their experience. I've listened to the book quite a few times as we go through the editing process, and JC has really, the whole time, he's been instrumental in making sure that we're moving on pace and that we're making the audiobook really reach the level of depth that he wants it to be. And I think our listeners to this audiobook really, really will appreciate that depth that he brings, because you can feel the connection.
Definitely looking forward to that completion. I have
actually, it's done.
It's done. Okay.
It's completed, and I think Jordan. I mean, wow. I mean, there's no way that I would have been able to do that without him actually over my shoulders. Cut. Let's do it over. Let's do that over. But we got a tremendous product out of it, right, Jordan?
Yes, we did. And there was a little bit of that where I had to come in and say, "Hey, cut. We got to do that over again." But you know what? That's how you get to the perfect product. You really get the real experience when you're able to identify, like, hey, you know what? I think you need to read that one over again because that's pretty important. And I want to make sure that they get the importance of this.
Perfect. JC, with that regard, it's, you have, knowing you, and you have such a positive attitude from this book, from your life experiences. Your attitude has taken you from A to Z. The type of person you are with your positive attitude. I know it's about attitude. It supports a successful life. And how can you tell listeners how to change their attitude to be more successful in their lives?
Okay, so I utilize this acronym called ACE, and ACE stands for attitude, commitment, and enthusiasm. ACE. I believe that everything starts with your attitude. I mean, when you first wake up in the morning, if you wake up with a negative attitude, you're gonna have a negative day. Mm-hmm. So attitude is key to anything that you do. I like to always talk about goals. What we're going to do for that day or what we're going to do for that week. So you have to commit with the things that you said you're going to do that day. Mm-hmm. The things that you have to commit to them, you got to try to keep them, got to try to stay on track. But most importantly, you have to be enthusiastic about everything that you do. And I believe that the ACE is the key to everything that we do.
Absolutely. I think really when you come down to it, what you do isn't nearly as important as how you do it. And that gets it done really well.
Oh, well, thanks. Well, we got another guest that I tell you, this guy is a very, very good friend of mine. He's been with me from the inception of the Jc Cooley Foundation. And I tell you, without him, I don't think that our program would be nowhere near the level that it is right now. I want to bring my very good friend and executive vice president of the Jc Cooley Foundation, Charles Golden. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well. Being in your presence just makes me that much greater. So how you know? Digress a little bit. Our relationship and our friendship spans well over 10 years. We've gone through good times, bad times. We challenge each other, which I love. We keep each other righted. Sometimes we don't leave on a good note, but we always get to come back together. I always call him my older brother because he's older than me. So
only by a few days.
I'll take those days. So just to go back a little bit, you're the CEO of the Jc Cooley Foundation. What is your vision of the organization, and where do you see the organization going in the next 5 years?
Well, that's a good question because we always are about building on what we have. And my vision is to be able to reach out to the world, to be able to do all we can to support as many people, regardless of where you're at, and make sure that they get the same opportunities that we have here in the United States and all over the United States, but also overseas as well. As you know, we do a lot of mission trips. We go to Mexico, where we cannot do it right now, but we have built over 30 houses over in Mexico. And I want to continue to be able to do that whenever we get away from this COVID and we're able to get back to doing those types of things where we can raise money and where we can go and help others out. And I would like to, just like I said, this foundation to expand the globe and bring other foundations in and work together as a team so that we can all solve whatever type of problems, world hunger, diseases, and just show the passion of love. And so in 5 years, I'm hoping that that's where we are at.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. We have our motto. We say it all the way. Can you tell our audience, the people are listening, what does dream big, think big, and be big mean?
That's a Jc Cooley Foundation motto, because I believe that if you dream small, you do small things. You dream big. A lot of times the mind will only take us as far as we want it to. If we are given a task and we say, okay, this is all I expect out of this little task right here, and once you finish that, you some people consider themselves as done. But I believe that if you dream big, you think real big. If you're going to build a house, case in point, I always tell you, if you're going to build a house, even if you don't have but a little money or whatever for a little house, try to build that foundation as big as you can. You want that foundation to be big, 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 because as we grow in life, we might have not been able to have a big house at that time, but as we grow and get more money and develop, we can start building on to what we have, and we can continue to expand. But you have to have the foundation in order to be able to grow. So dream big. Always think out the box. So you dream big and think big. Think big is thinking out the box. Just come up with all different type of ideas. Ask others what their opinion is. So what you might be thinking, somebody else can enhance that with their thought process at all times. So dream big, think big. Most importantly, be big. Be big is not in stature or in size. It's in heart. Being big is in heart. When somebody wrong you, you don't have to always turn around and wrong them. It's, somebody do you wrong, being big, sometimes you just step back and just say, okay, I learned from that one. I'm not going to do that anymore. So that's what the Jc Cooley program, those are some of the pillars that we talk about. Dream big, think big, and be big at everything that you do.
Well, Chuck asked you just about the mission that you had down in Mexico. Can you talk a little bit more about that in that vein?
Okay, so we do a lot of things in Mexico. Primarily, we go down and we feed the homeless. But the biggest things that we do is we build houses.
Wow.
I'm talking about a whole house in one day. We take a lot of families, and I team up with the church, and we come up with enough money, and we send the cement guy down a week before we do to lay the cement.
The foundation.
And then what we do is I take a lot of my kids, their families, and other people that have giving hearts. Mm-hmm. And what we do is we go there, all the wood and timber and everything is there. And even every kid, whether they 3, 4, 5, everybody's doing something. They painting, everybody is building this house. And so we start in the morning, right around 8 or 9 o'clock. And it's kind of like a cookie cutter. Everybody doing their portion, including the painting. Mm-hmm. By 5 o'clock, that house is done with windows, doors.
Wow.
And I'm talking about, because it's all about teamwork.
Yeah.
But we haven't been able to do that lately because of COVID.
Yeah.
So.
What a great experience, though, for everybody involved, but particularly the teenage kids that, are part of your foundation, to have that sense of accomplishment and changing someone's life like that.
Yeah, but we're going to take a station break, but, I'm going to come back and we're going to continue this discussion. It's your life.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley. It's time to dream big, think big, and be big. It's time for more It's Your Life. Here's your host, James Cooley.
Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I tell you what, listen, audience, I am having fun. I joke about being grilled. But you know what? This is so fun because I get a chance to share my message and let everybody know some of the great things that we're doing and some of the things that we're going to continue to do. So this is our last segment, and we are going to bring all the guests back on, and we're just going to take turns just asking questions of me.
JC, I'm gonna butt in here because I'm so curious here. Number one, thank you for your service. You were in the Navy. On behalf of all the listeners and everybody on the show, I want to thank you very much for your service. That brought you to the White House. What was it like working in the White House?
Well, I tell you, I stood duty in the White House. I worked at the Pentagon, but I stood duty in the White House on several occasions, and I had an opportunity to meet the president. All that. I tell you, it's a job. It's a job, and that's what that's what we look at it as. It's just a job that you're doing, and let me tell you, it's everybody do not get a chance to work in the White House or go to the White House. It's a special type of person that the government makes sure that they do the proper checks. So I felt honored and privileged to be selected to do that type of work.
Oh yeah.
So, but I still consider it as a job.
Right. But what factors contributed to you joining the Navy?
Okay. So first of all, that's a very good question. I joined the Navy. I was going to join with my very best friend Billy Harper, but he sustained an injury. We was going in what we call the buddy program because we had to get out of Chattanooga. We wanted to see the world. We wanted to grow. And long and shorter story, he was not able to do it. And what I did initially, I went to the recruiting station, and I swore in with. I was going to join the Marines. I was going to join the Marines.
Yep.
So you have to swear in twice is what I'm trying to say. The next time around, when you get ready to go in, the Navy guy, the Marine guy didn't show up, and the Navy guy did.
Yeah.
So I swore in, and it put me on the
bus. It was just a matter of he showed up. Who showed up that day?
But what I'm trying to say is I was going in the service regardless because I wanted to actually grow up and see the world and be something.
And how long were you in?
I spent 23 years.
23 years.
23 years, 1 month, and a day.
Okay.
Now, was this after college?
When I met James, he was retired from the Navy, and he's told me so many stories about the Navy. And Veterans Day is coming up soon in November, and of course, we thank James for his service. One of the things I wanted to ask James, and I know this we're going to go around, is what lessons did you learn from the Navy, and also what has brought you joy being part of the Navy?
I learned many, many lessons from the Navy. First of all, I learned the lesson of teamwork, that in order for a company, anything, you have to be able to work together, and you have to be able to trust your fellow man. And I also learned that it's so important that you keep your word. If you tell somebody you're going to do something, you have to keep it. Regardless of what it is. If you can't keep it, call the person, let them know that, hey, under these circumstances, I cannot, I'm not able to do that. But to sum it up, and I know where you're going, Michelle, most importantly, what I learned that's most important to me from the Navy is what I call the HIE theory. And HIE stands for honesty, integrity, and ethics. Again, HIE, honesty, integrity, and ethics. And we have to, at least I do, I have to live by that because I have to be able to look in the mirror every day and see the reflection that's coming back at me. And I want to be proud of that reflection. So that's what I learned mostly. And what brings joy is just being able to help somebody else out, being able to provide some type of input or solutions when it seems hopeless. So that's what brings joy to me, just to see a smile on somebody else's face.
Hey, James, we share a lot of things. That's why we're the best of friends. We've equally done, a long stint. I've, 23 years as a veteran myself, as we talk about that time and time again. And as we talk to our youth, I'd like to ask you a question. If a youth came to you today contemplating joining the military, what would the questions you would have to ask themselves prior to joining?
Well, first of all, why are you joining? I mean, are you joining just to run away or do something? If you're unsure about certain things, you need to first just get a clear mind, because the military is just like any other job, but you have to be serious about it, and you have to want to grow, regardless of whether you go in for 4 years or 20 or plus years like I did. It have to be a reason why you're doing this, and then if you do commit to doing those things, you got to set yourself on growth, meaning that you have to do all the things to continue to escalate it up the scale. Because a lot of time we go in the military, Charles, we don't know we're gonna stay in there 20 years. I had no clue that I was going to spend 23 years in the service. But once I got in there and I saw how things were, I said, well, I'm going to be the best. Even if I get out in 6 or 7 years, I'm going to do everything possible for me to grow and learn and get promoted. So,
Well,
I'm sorry. So that being said, okay, so can you also expound on, your great being in the military, you joined your time. Can you, help us people get your experience in becoming a commissioned officer?
Well, first of all, that's a hard choice, because only less than 1% of people that go in the military get an opportunity to convert over to being a commissioned officer. Actually, it's less than 1%, 1%. I was honored that I was selected based on my performance throughout my career, that they identified me as a candidate and wanted me to be a commissioned officer, meaning that I learned, I was taught, and when I became an officer, I had to do the same. I had to teach and bring our troops up, because we want to make them commissioned officers as well. So you give your best effort, you give everything that you have and everything that you do. My thing is, and you know this, Charles, that I always say, if do it big or don't do it at all. I mean, if you ain't gonna do it big, don't do it. That's anything that you do it big.
Correct.
Yeah.
Chuck, do you have any questions for James?
Yeah, I want to see if we can fast forward this a little different direction, because I was thinking, James, how can we, this panel and your listening audience, help you and this show, It's Your Life, and the Jc Cooley Foundation supporting all your youth and young adults going forward?
Well, I believe, first of all, we got to get sponsors. We got to get people to buy into what we're doing. They have to understand. They have to believe in the messages and the work that we do. And so no man is an island. No organization is an island. So it's going to require lots and lots of help in order for us to do the things that we want to do, in order for us to help out as many people as possible, and us to create our future leaders of tomorrow with the right tools, attitude, commitment, and enthusiasm, so that they can grow up and help others out and continue to be successful. But to answer your question, it's going to require a lot of help, funding, sponsorships, and people that's willing to be mentors. So
yeah,
it's all about mentorship.
Cool. That's cool.
I'm on the edge of my seat, dying to ask you a question, JC. You had, as you described it, a very difficult beginning in life. There was a lot of poverty. Your mom had a lot of kids and not enough husbands, apparently. and yet you turned out to be this man with incredible principles. These things you've been sharing with us, your motto, the principles. what was your inspiration, or who was your inspiration? Where did you learn that?
Inspiration comes from, and I'm glad that you asked. I'm going to put it like this. Aspire. I always talk about the AIP. Aspire, inspire, perspire. We see things on TV. We see things in life. We see people. We see certain things that we aspire to be like or want to do. My inspiration is that I see people, and good and bad. And I got this imaginary bag on each side that I carry around. And when I see somebody doing something bad, I reach over and grab a little bit and put it in the left side of the bag. When I see somebody doing something great, I reach over, grab that, and put it into the other side of the bag. And I have ran across a lot of great folks, and I can't say that it's just one person or that inspired me, but I did that throughout in life. And when I find myself in a situation where I don't know what to do, and or I'm treating somebody a certain way, I look over in the bag that I don't ever want to be like that, and kind of let that one go. And when I see something that I'm in trouble, that I need some help, I look over in the good side of the bag, and I pull some of that good stuff out, and that's what inspired me. But anything that you do, aspiring requires inspiring. But everything that you do, you got to perspire. You got to work for it. So aspiration comes from inspiration, but it requires perspiration. But I tell you, this has been great, and we're kind of running out of time a little bit. But I want to thank all of my guests. I want to thank my sponsor, Joshua Goldsmith, here for making this happen, and also my guest co-host, Joshua. I want to thank my beautiful wife, who's also my guest co-host today. I want to thank you, Paula. You've been my buddy forever. Charles, Chuck. Jordan.
JC, we want to thank you.
I want to thank all of you guys. And I most importantly, I want to thank our listening audience, because without you, this would not happen. And most importantly, I got the greatest producer on record, DJ Carrot Stick. Thank you so much, Todd. Thank you. I tell you, had a great time. It's your life. We got a great show coming next week, and we're going to continue to bring it. Anything you want to say?
JC, you're the man.
It's your life. Same time, same station. Next week. See you.
Thanks for joining us for It's Your Life with James Cooley. To learn more about James, how you can support the show, or become a guest, visit CooleyFoundation.org. That's CooleyFoundation.org. Join James next week at this same time for more motivation and inspiration to help you become equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. This has been It's Your Life, where you learn how to dream big, think big, and be big.